I just want to make it clear, I'm not the legal fiction corporate entity defendant.
Okay.
Maybe
All right.
if I give a
Sir,
name.
you're allowed
Objection,
one
that violates
minute.
my due process.
And he's
Objection, that
not to
violates my right to a
return.
personal bond.
He's
I have a
not, he's
constitutional right,
not
as
to
you just said,
appear
to
at
be good
9.
innocent without.
Here we go again. Another sovereign citizen steps into court, and this one is completely convinced he's cracked the legal code of the universe. He opens by declaring he's not the legal fiction corporate entity defendant. Translation? He thinks if he just yells enough big words, the entire justice system is going to fold like a cheap tent. Spoiler, it won't. The judge is calm, professional, and trying to do her job.
And then we've got Mr. Martin.
He claims to be an attorney, so here we speak with Mr. Fanto.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, this is 241388, the state of Michigan versus Eric Joseph Martin. Sir, can you tell me your name?
Oh, not the Roman Sesticate Trust, if that's what you're wondering.
Okay. Are you going to tell me your name or not, Mr. Martin?
I just want to make it clear, I'm not the legal fiction corporate entity defendant.
Okay. All right.
If I give a
Sir,
name.
if you require accommodations to use the court because of disabilities, or if you require a foreign language interpreter to help you fully participate in court proceedings, please let the court know immediately. You are here today on count 1, domestic violence. There's an allegation that on June 8th of 2024 in the city of Taylor at 9074 Clippard, that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Crystal Nicole Martin, a resident or former resident of your household, contrary to MCL 750.81 parent 2. This is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under MCL 750506A if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Those are the charges against you. You've been brought to court on a misdemeanor charge, and you have the following basic rights: to plead guilty, not guilty, or to stand mute. If you stand mute, a plea of not guilty will be entered, and you may plead no contest with the permission of the court. You have the right to a trial by a jury and to have the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent, meaning you cannot afford to pay for an attorney. If the offense requires a minimum jail sentence, this charge does not have a minimum jail sentence. The court determines that it might sentence you to jail, and the appointing authority, which is the court, would decide if you are indigent and appoint counsel if you are eligible. You may have to repay the expense of the appointed attorney, and you may contest your ability to pay the ordered fees if the court attempts to collect any costs for an attorney, and the court must then determine your ability to pay. Mr. Fanto, a court-appointed defense attorney, is present in the courtroom. It's my understanding he attempted to meet with you, and he was advised that you did not want to speak with him. Is that correct?
Because of the unfairness of the laws that would fraudulently assume if I take a lawyer that I would be giving up my right to be one of the sovereign people and be fraudulently assumed to be a legal fiction.
She lays it all out, the charges, his rights, the possible penalties, everything. She even makes it clear he has the right to an attorney. But does he listen? Of course not. Instead, he launches into some nonsense about how having a lawyer would make him give up his sovereignty. This guy really believes hiring an attorney would somehow trick him into being a fictional defendant. No joke. Now imagine this. You're facing a domestic violence charge, a serious allegation, and instead of defending yourself properly, you decide today's the day to audition for the role of courtroom philosopher. That's exactly what this man does. He refuses legal help, rambles about his rights, and insists the laws don't apply to him. Watching it unfold is like watching someone walk into a spelling bee and refuse.
I have refused that a lawyer.
Mr. Martin, if you have a trial, you have the following rights: to call witnesses to speak for you at trial, and you could get an order signed by the court to require those witnesses to come to court. You have a right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You have a right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. And if you chose not to be a witness on your own behalf, the prosecuting official could not comment on your refusal to testify. You also have the right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you plead guilty or no contest and your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind, and you will give up the rights that I just listed to you. You also have the right to be released on bond. If you are now on probation or parole and you enter a plea of guilty or a finding of guilt is made by a judge or a jury, it may result in a violation of your probation or parole. The court can sentence you to jail and fines plus cost. And the court must tell you on the record the name of the offense, the mandatory minimum jail sentence, if any, and the maximum possible penalty for the offense, including jail, fines, and both, which I've already done. Fines, costs, and other financial obligations imposed by the court must be paid at the time of assessment, except when the court allows otherwise for good cause shown. If you are not able to pay due to financial hardship, you can contact the court immediately and request a payment alternative. So those are your constitutional rights going forward, Mr. Martin.
I want to make it clear I have been legally arrested here by barred away, okay, because he just went by her lies saying I kicked her. As soon as he walked through my door, I'm the one that called 911 on Crystal Martin, okay?
All right, sir, you have a constitutional right to remain silent, and anything you say with respect to this case could potentially be used against you in a court of law. So I would advise you at this time to remain silent with respect to the actual facts or allegations listed in the complaint and misdemeanor complaint, which I've read to you. Sir, are you gainfully employed?
I wish to finish before I answer your questions. I will answer your questions. I want to finish exercising my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, and continue what I was saying.
Used to spell the word. He thinks he's outsmarting the system, but in reality, he's just digging his own hole deeper. The judge, though, she's not rattled one bit. You can tell she's seen this act before. She warns him, explains his rights, and tries to steer him back to reality. But this guy isn't interested in reality. He's living in his own little world where yelling due process is the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. And the wild part? You can see the confidence in his face. He genuinely thinks he's winning. He's looking the judge dead in the eye like he's about to drop some truth bomb that'll shake the whole legal system. But instead, all he's doing is making himself look foolish. On the record, in open court. So after refusing an attorney...
Oh, okay, sir, you are to appear in court as directed. I'm not going to argue with you, Mr. Martin. I understand your sovereign citizen argument. It's not the first time I've seen it or heard it. You are under the jurisdiction of this court. This court has jurisdiction under the Michigan Constitution and the laws of the state of Michigan. You are charged with a 93-day misdemeanor, sir. You've been advised of all of your rights. Okay, you have a First Amendment right, certainly, but you are here for an arraignment, not to lecture me on sovereign citizen beliefs, okay? I'm trying to get you through this and make sure you understand the process. You are to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court. You're not to commit any new crimes while released. You're to immediately notify the court of change of address or phone number. You're to have no contact with the complainant, Crystal Martin, in this case. Do you understand me?
No, I do not understand in that I do not stand under the charges, the false fraudulent charges, but I do comprehend. But as I was saying, I was illegally arrested in violation of my due process rights. There's not sufficient evidence for my arrest that I did any domestic violence. Bardaway just arrested me anyway. There's no video of me assaulting her. She did not see it. She just told a lie. I actually filed a PPO on her.
Sir, do you understand that you're not, to have no contact with Crystal Martin?
And then you need to tell her, do not come to my house. She keeps coming to my house so she can set me up with these lies because my sister keeps letting her over. I have no, I don't want to contact her, but she needs to stop coming over to my house. You know, I've been living there for 33 years.
Miss Maudlin,
Let me finish talking. I have the First Amendment right to talk. I have the.
May Mr. Martin, it's clear to me at this point that you have no respect for the court. I believe that you're a danger. I can't get any information from you as to whether or not you have another place to reside, whether or not you understand the court's no contact provision. I need to know that you understand what I am telling you, because I am attempting to set a bond on your case. And if you want a bond on your case, you've waived your right to an attorney. And I'm trying to figure out, do you have another place to stay? Do you understand what no contact means? And if you're not going to express to me that you have an understanding of what I'm saying, and if we can't get on the same page about that, then I'm inclined to not give you a bond. Do you understand me, Mr. Martin?
I comprehend you, yes.
Okay, do you understand that I said you were to have no contact with Crystal Martin?
Yes, but she needs to stop coming over to my house. I'm not trying to contact her. She's coming over to my house and she can make false allegations like this, setting up so she can have the whole house to herself, her and my sister. This is what the whole agenda is of her with my sister. Lisa Martin tried this before, even though I proved to the court before the video of my sister Lisa Martin trying to set me up with lies and try swinging at me, assaulting me. I have this on video, saying to Crystal Martin here. I have her on video swinging at me in dealing with the prior case.
And insisting he doesn't recognize the corporate court system, the judge moves forward. She warns him again, this is his chance to take things seriously. But instead of listening, he doubles down. He starts tossing around phrases like, I don't consent, I'm a living man, and my personal favorite, these charges don't apply to me. It's the classic sovereign citizen script, word for word. Now here's where it gets even more bizarre. When the judge starts talking about bond, the guy suddenly switches gears. He goes from acting like the law doesn't apply to him to begging for bond like it's a discount coupon. He claims he's a peaceful man, insists he's not a threat, and tries to convince the judge he's just misunderstood.
Okay.
So,
well,
Mr. Martin, does Crystal Martin live at the home on Clifford Street?
Yes, she comes over like for a day or two, and my sister lets her come over, and she stays there for a day or two, yes, and then, here and there.
Okay, so your sister owns the home.
No, she doesn't own the home thing. So my understanding is the bank really owns it. It's always been like my parents' house. But I don't even think really my parents own it because they didn't finish paying off the mortgage or whatever. So I think technically it's the bank's house, but me and my brother and sister have been staying there for a long time. Me there for like 32 years. My parents have passed away now. So now it's like a fight with them two. They're trying to take over the whole house by coming with false allegations, by telling cops, oh, he assaulted me all the time. There's no evidence. It's not true. It's a lie. There's insufficient evidence. It's in violation of my due process rights. But Bartaway arrested me anyways, and this is just what she wants. So they can have the whole house to themselves. I even filed a case with Crystal Martin.
All right, so you're not to have contact with Crystal Martin. You're not to return to 9074 Clipper in the city of Detroit, or in the city of Taylor, I'm sorry. You're allowed
objection to violation of my due process. You cannot deny me my right to live at my house because of an unsupported allegation by her, which is a lie at that. Like I said, the cop had no sufficient evidence. She just told a lie, and the guy didn't even bark away, that is, the police officer, just came to me and arrested me right off the bat. That violates my due process rights with sufficient evidence.
Sir, you're allowed one visit to the premises to obtain personal belongings. You must be accompanied by a police officer.
And I want Bartaway. Well, hold on, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm just gonna finish saying what I got to say so you don't cut me off. And I want Bartaway arrested for his illegal arrest. I want Bartaway arrested for illegally arresting me. I want him charged for assault and battery, for illegally arresting me, and kidnapping.
Okay.
Because it was without my consent.
Mr. Martin, if you are not allowed at the 9074 Clifford Street address, where will you be staying?
I am allowed. I don't have nowhere else to live. That's my house. I'm allowed there. You ordered that. That violates my due process.
All right. He has a $2,000 cash bond with a GPS tether.
Yes, objection,
And he's not to
violating my right to a
return.
personal bond.
He's
I have
not-
a
he's
right,
not
as
to
you said,
appear
you
at
can be
night.
innocent without guilty.
He cannot come to 9074 Clifford or be in contact with Crystal Martin.
The irony? He's facing a violent charge, and his behavior in court screams defiance. That's not exactly the recipe for mercy. The courtroom atmosphere is tense but almost comical at the same time. The prosecutor is sitting there, barely hiding the smirk, because they've seen this circus act before. The judge, on the other hand, is stone cold. No smiles, no jokes, just reality. She reminds him that charges like this do apply to him, whether he consents or not. And when it comes to bond, she makes it clear. The court isn't here to play games. And the best part? The man still looks convinced he's winning. He thinks his wordplay and legal jargon are going to force the system to bend. But instead, the judge lowers the hammer, setting conditions he can't just wish away with some sovereign catchphrase. It's the moment his little fantasy collides with the hard wall of reality.